Mr. President.
Senator from Arizona is recognized.
Mr. President, as we approach in less than an hour a very important vote, some have called it historic, some call it pivotal, it's been given various adjectives and adverbs. I think it might be appropriate to discuss for a minute or two how this all began. It all began in the presidential campaign. I don't really like to spend much time recalling it, but health care was a big issue in the presidential campaign. And on October the 8th of 2008, just less than a month before the election, then candidate Obama said, and I quote, concerning health care reform, quote, I'm going to have all the negotiations around a big table. We'll have negotiations televised on C-SPAN so that people can see who is making arguments on behalf of their constituents and who are making arguments on behalf of the drug companies. Keep that in mind, the drug companies or the insurance companies. Now, that was a statement made by then Senator candidate Obama. So what we have seen here is a dramatic departure. There's never been a C-SPAN camera. There's never been a negotiation, a serious negotiation between Republicans and the other side. There has never been. I say that with the knowledge, Mr. President, of someone who has negotiated many times across the aisle on many agreements. So don't stand up and say that there were serious negotiations between Republicans and Democrats. There never were. But there was negotiations with the special interest, with pharma, the same ones that the president said we was going to see who the American people are on the side of. Clearly, this administration and that side of the aisle was on the side of pharma because they got a sweetheart deal of about $100 billion that would have been saved if we had been able to re-import prescription drugs. The AARP's got a sweetheart deal. There's a provision in this deal for them. Plans that Medigap insurance sold by AARP are exempt from tax on insurance companies. The AMA signed up because of the promise of a docs fix. There was, throughout this, we should have set up a tent out in front and put Persian rugs out in front of it. That's the way that this has been conducted. And, of course, then, so the special interests were taken care of. Then we had to take care of special senators. And one deal is called, we've got new words in our lexicon now, the Louisiana Purchase, the Cornhusker Kickback. I got a new name, the Florida Flim Flam, the one that gives the Medicare Advantage members in Florida around the country that benefit, but my constituents in Medicare Advantage don't. And so, an answer to this, answer to a question today, the majority leader said, quote, a number of states are treated differently than other states. Really? A number of states are treated different than other states. That's what legislation is all about. That's compromise. Where is that taught? Where is that taught? A number of states are treated differently than other states. That's why legislation is all about. That's compromise. My friends, that's not what the American people call governing. That's called exactly what an opposite and contradiction of what the President of the United States said, where he says, we'll have negotiations televised on C-SPAN so that people can see who is making arguments. I see the leader from Illinois over there. Just a few days ago, I said, what's in the bill? The senator from Illinois says, I don't know. I'm in the dark, too. I can give him his own quote. So here we are, as the senator from Tennessee said, in the middle of the night. And here we are, my friends, about to pass a bill with 60 votes. Now, 60 votes represent 60% of this body. But I can assure my friends on the other side of the aisle, it doesn't represent 60% of the American people. In fact, 61% of the American people, according to a CNN poll, say they want this stopped. They disapprove of it. And I guarantee you, when you go against the majority opinion of the American people, you pay a heavy price, and you should. And you should. And I'll tell my colleagues right now that when this will be, if it is passed, and we are not going to give up after this vote, please believe me, When you, for the first time in history, there will be a major reform passed on a party line basis. Every reform, and I've been part of them, has been passed on a bipartisan basis. This will be a strict party line basis. You know, I was thinking today about this vote, and I was thinking about other times and other examples I've had of courage or lack of, or the fact that in the face of odds that you have to stand up for what you believe in. And I thought about back when I first entered the United States Naval Academy at the young age of 17. And one of the first things they told us about in our learning of naval traditions was about a battle that took place early in the Revolutionary War. An American ship run by a captain engaged a British ship, the mighty British Navy. And the American ship was outgunned and it was outmanned, and as they came together in mortal combat, the dead and dying all around, and the British captain said, "Do you surrender?" And that Captain John Paul Jones said, "I have not yet begun to fight. I tell the American people, we're going to go around this country. We're going to the town halls. We're going to the senior centers. We're going to the Rotary clubs. We're going to carry this message. We will not do this. We will not commit generational theft on future generations of Americans. We won't give them another $2.5 trillion of debt. We won't give them an unfair policy where deals are done in back rooms." And we, all of us on this side of the aisle, will stand up for the American people, and we have just begun to fight.